This is my 20th year. My first year was the second year the school had opened. So we only had 750 students, freshmen and sophomores. And then, now we're at 2,400. I teach theater classes and broadcasting classes. And then sometimes I teach filmmaking, either advanced filmmaking or filmmaking 1. I graduated college intending to go into professional sports broadcasting. And I kind of quit theater in college because I was really sick of theater kids. And I just was irritated with it. And I think my ego was hurt because I wasn't, the hottest stuff on campus in college. But I was doing a lot of radio broadcasting and I was learning a ton, and I wanted to go be a radio play-by-play guy. My goal was to be a radio play-by-play guy for a Major League Baseball team. So right out of college, I got hired to do high school football and basketball and baseball and be the sports director at a station in northern Colorado. And I was really excited. And then there was, hiccups in my life, and I was working for a really horrible person, and that job lasted about 5 months, and then they fired me. And that really stunned me. I was like, oh God, what am I gonna do with my life? And I still was doing some freelance work, and I had connections with KOA in Denver, so I was doing a little bit of Broncos coverage and a little bit of this and helping out in different places, but it was, my dream had been stalled. And I kind of struggled my way through the next winter. And then my old high school drama teacher, who I'd kept in touch with, said, why don't you come direct a play this spring? You're not doing anything else. And I thought, I've always wanted to direct a play, and it's a play that I love. So I did. And then in the middle of that, it was like the clouds parted and those lights shined down, and I thought, this is what I actually want to do. This is what I love. This feels purposeful, and it's fun, and it's vibrant, and the play was a real success. So then I went right back to school and started getting my teaching degree. And I, it's kind of like being born again. I'd left. And then when I came back to teaching, really, with theater being the way to get into it, I knew that it's what I really wanted to do. And I still was able to do broadcasting on the side. I was working in Loveland, and I was working in a bunch of places in Greeley, doing a lot of football and baseball and basketball play-by-play as I was getting my teaching degree. But once I started teaching, that's what I really wanted to do. I still had my sports background and my broadcasting background, and I'm a sports fanatic. I'd much rather talk about sports than theater, which mostly drives the theater kids crazy, because they'll say to themselves, ooh, Mr. Goldson, let's talk about this musical. And I'll say, no, let's talk about the NCAA tournament. And they're like, the what? It's very discouraging. But so we started a sports broadcasting program because there were companies at the time that were offering for schools to pay them thousands of dollars, and they would set it up for them. And the athletic director turned to me and he said, if I give you thousands of dollars, can you do this? I said, yeah, no problem. Because we didn't want to be tethered to some company that was just going to take money off the backs of grandma watching Wyoming. And then that was 2000. I don't know, we've been doing it about 10 years. I love the broadcasting piece because we allow our students to do classwork that genuinely has a product that they're responsible for, and that they know people are going to watch, and that they're representing the school in a way that's totally different than be a good person or wearing a cool t-shirt. And then it allows us to talk sports all the time. And I love talking sports with anybody. So that's sort of the roundabout way as to how I got here. With Mr. Weaver, he's one of my very favorite people. And I go into his office all the time and annoy him. For a long stretch, I was going into his office and saying, listen, I got an idea. You give me an extra period, I'll just teach 4 classes, and I can have 1 class where I'm just in your office and I'm your consigliere, like Robert Duvall in The Godfather, and I just give you advice. And he was like, no. And I said, come on, I got really good advice. He goes, yes. And then he said, but it doesn't seem like we need to give you a special period because you just come in here all the time anyway. And I was like, yeah. We were doing a play called Fiddler on the Roof. And in Fiddler on the Roof, there's this moment where the main character is visited by the ghost of his dead grandmother to encourage him to let his daughter visit who he wants her to visit. So we had all these kids up on bleachers, and they were all singing this kooky Jewish demon song, right? And then they're, what is this about your mother marrying my husband? And then this character comes on in stilts and this shredded wedding robe, and she looks like, a Tim Burton character from Beetlejuice. And she's stomping around and singing, and it's really funny and really crazy. But in dress rehearsal, she's wearing this veil, and she's stomping and singing, and she gets too close to one of the chorus members, and her veil gets stuck in this kid's hair. She got this chorus member sitting here, and then she's like, and she's getting yanked. And the kid on the stilts has no clue, so she's marching back and forth. So we're laughing so hard because we can see poor Molly Carlson running on stage trying to get her hair out of this while they're stomping around and everybody's marching, and the whole scene just goes kablam. And then Miranda, who's playing the grandmother turns around and is like, what happened? Oh no, are you okay? You're stuck in my hair. And it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Stuff like that happens all the time in theater. The rest of the stuff's pretty R-rated. I don't think I can have that. Theater's really fun. And sometimes in school you just need to have fun. And it's a low stakes class. It's not meant to be hard. It's meant to push you to explore your creativity, to build community with other students. And I believe that, you know, in our schools, some of the kindest and most thoughtful and most welcoming students are theater students. And everyone should have a chance to belong and to be a part of some community. Broadcasting, like, you get to work on something that sort of matters because other people are watching it. And you get to tell stories, and you get to be really well versed in technology that is professional level and is state of the art, and you can go right into this avocation. I mean, if you love sports or you love exploring the way the world is as a journalist, broadcasting lets you do that.